Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Raising Excellence. I'm Michael, the MC and Opportunity Ambassador for today's teaser show, and today's teaser title is The Magic of Words. With me today are my two favorite co-hosts, and we have a special guest, but I'll get to them as soon as we talk to Agnieszka, our illuminator.
Hello, everybody.
Dennis, our freedom facilitator.
Greetings and blessed love, everyone.
And James Ford, our special guest.
Hello.
So we're talking about the magic of words. And James, this is actually kind of up your alley. You've done something called the roots of occupation.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, the roots of occupation. And Mike is good enough to join as we were talking about it. I guess the word occupation, it's a word that has many meanings, and it's how also not only many meanings, but in many ways that it expresses itself in our lives. So one occupation can be defined as a career in which I make a livelihood. Another definition for occupation could be a property that someone lives in or resides in or has the right to enter or leave or does not. Another occupation could be the occupation of a land where a nation or an army occupies another land. And then also then there's the inner life. And the inner life is, if one is preoccupied, what is that which preoccupies? And for me, with the roots of occupation is that perhaps in understanding our relationship with those, that the last one may be addressed and maybe of a more understanding of our own preoccupation. And if that may, if we might be able to observe that, then perhaps we could see how in ways that that people are occupied, or how we are, that are, perhaps maybe we live more in a reactionary life to external circumstances than to a proactive life where it's coming from a place of freedom.
So simply put, on Wednesday, we're going to talk about how our words, the spoken, the written words, are actually in a way being occupied, and how we, through that kind of conditioning, actually can come to the point of understanding that much of what is being said and of much of what's being written actually is not original, is not a true expression of who we are, but it is something, that we were led to think, that we were led to express, and it's just like an echo chamber that's, hollowing back and forward. But we in a way, we seem to recognize that we are missing the original expression of human beings in the written and spoken words.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes, and it's not a judgment thing. Sometimes, we hear a word from someone, and it may be someone early in our life or sometime, and we appropriate it, but we never address maybe the story connected to it is not really right or correct, or maybe we don't go back and address these things, it seems.
We don't really realize the power of the words that we're using, or the actual true meaning of the word. Even as you were speaking, the word occupation struck me, because what people say most of the time is, what's your occupation? Like, how are you besieged?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because a friend, how it came, the way I experienced it was a friend of mine who was very successful. He says, well, James, my occupation is my life. That which I occupy is my life. The successes that I've had is how I make money. He says, but I occupy myself in my life now. It's just something. And I said, wow, that's the way I want to live. Because I never took the time to stop to even think about the word until he put it in that way. And then I stopped and said, oh, wait a second, there's something going on here that maybe I should observe a little bit more,
Yeah, what's occupying your life, you or the corporation?
Yeah, and it seems like that's what it's public relations, right?
Yeah, we really want. Go ahead.
And I think there's also that with the preconceived notion of kind of the use of words, that there can be the development of kind of these different sides of the word, so that when people use the word, they have certain connotations, which then can also lead to great misunderstandings with other people that are using the words, and it can kind of create the circumstance where people are constantly in a divisive state where they're not necessarily using the words in a negative fashion in their sense, but it's coming across as negative in the way that other people are seeing it. And so this is one of those things where we've got to be able to understand what the context of the discussion that we're having to really understand what the use of the word is beyond just the definition.
And it's also the question whether the words that we utter, whether they bring awareness, and whether they are, they come from a place of attention. Are we paying attention to the words that we speak and that are spoken to us as well, and are the words that we speak or that we write down, are they bringing awareness to others and to ourselves? And I think those are some interesting points that we should touch upon on Wednesday, and of course also the idea is not only to highlight what can go wrong and what also is the source of the problems that we're facing today and that are caused and related to the occupation of words and the the meaninglessness of many things that are being said and that are being written today, but also what really can happen if we actually give meaning to what we say and to what we write, and how we can heighten our awareness of the impact that we can have through our words to on our world.
Yeah, and if I may, I just think there's two things that you kind of, as you're talking, kind of spurred. It's like, one, it's a great way to kind of understand ourselves. If someone says a word and I have a reaction and it's emotional, perhaps I need to stop and be aware of that, because then that could be someone has, whether it may be, then maybe I should understand why am I reacting to someone using a word. And then even the idea of an executive order. You have a man sitting there with a quill and a pen writing words down on a piece of paper, and a whole world mobilizing with masks on their face and walking 6 feet apart. And you have, like Agnieszka suggested, a spell, someone just writing words on a piece of paper. So talking about a magician.
That's what a spell is. And you know what grammar is the grimoire by which the spells are all aligned.
Ooh.
So you have a spelling bee. Not joking. That's the roots of those words, It's how to use the words for spelling, for casting spells.
So it seems like it's going to be an important show on Wednesday, Wouldn't we all want to learn how to speak and write our spells properly, so we can design and actively, design the world and the life that we would like to experience, that we came here to live?
Indeed. Yeah, so 4:35 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday afternoon.
11:35 CET, Berlin, Amsterdam, and Paris time, PM. And
We'll see you there.
5:35 Eastern.
I can't calculate at the moment.
Si, senor.
Eastern Standard Time.
5:35.
5:35.
Looking forward to talk to all of you. And thank you very much, James, for taking time to be with us.
Oh, thanks for the invite, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.